Welcome back to Not Weave Stitch. My name is Gisela. This is part 2 of my conversation with Lauran, where we continue our honest and thoughtful chat about creativity and crafting with endometriosis. If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, I'd recommend starting there first so you can hear the beginning of Lauran's journey. Otherwise, get cosy, grab your current project, and let's jump back into the conversation. This episode contains open discussion about endometriosis, chronic pain, and women's health, including some medical details. It also touches on anxiety and mental well-being. Please listen with care and take breaks if you need to. The thoughts and opinions shared in this episode are our own and are based on our own personal experience. We are not medical professionals, and this conversation is not intended as medical advice. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional for personalised support or treatment. Like conversations like this, it's so important to kind of raise awareness of it. I mean, in the past few years, I've heard so much more. I never knew kind of beforehand what it was
Yeah,
until the
yeah.
last few years. And it's only kind of just now I feel like the ball is kind of beginning to roll with it, learning a little bit more about it. But I've heard of so many women, it takes years to get diagnosed. I don't know for yourself how long it took for the kind of initial part to get properly diagnosed with it. I don't know what that was like for you.
Well, it took me about 6 to 7 years, which is
Wow.
pretty average, even for today. Um,
It's crazy
and
though, isn't it? Don't,
yeah, and even like after you have, say, like the ultrasound or MRI, colonoscopy, you it's not always found. So it might be the case that you have deep infiltrating endometriosis, which can't be seen through scans. It can only be found as such through a laparoscopy, but also that's dependent on the consultant who's performing it.
right.
So it's a disease which isn't just located around the reproductive organs either. I've read articles where people have found it up in their chest area, um, and it's it's silent in a sense because sometimes you can have no symptoms of endometriosis and have stage 4, where the fact
Right.
that it's that rife and it's fused like organs together. Um, and even after having a hysterectomy, you can still have symptoms of endometriosis, and endometriosis can still appear down to basically it's all about the cells.
Yeah.
They're abnormal, they're growing out of the uterus where it should be, unlike its sister can't say this right. Adenomyosis, adenomyosis, um, where it's like inside the uterus, but cells where they shouldn't be growing, and then it causes like after, like laparoscopy, you get scar tissue. So then
Yeah.
even after the endometriosis has been lasered away, you still get the scar tissue which develops afterwards. It can also put pressure and cause other symptom like pain related symptoms. So it's like an ongoing um journey with it.
Yeah.
And it's so individual, it's so different for every person, and no story is the same. And I'd say with conversations I've had, um, there's been something new where I've been like, oh wow, I didn't realize that's how far disease could go,
Yeah.
or how much of a more impact it can have on someone else's life compared to my own, where they're having to use mobility aids, or they're actually classed disabled because it's hard to be, um, say, if depending on how severe your endometriosis is and the impact it has on your life. So, for work, for instance, if you're unable to go to commit to a job, down to your attendance or your attention span, your focus, etc., etc. You might decide, okay, well, I'm going to apply for PIP, and it's so hard to get anything from that because it's I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it's just nonsense
Yeah.
um for for women to try and get that financial help due to a disease which is of no fault of their own, which is very common. I think it's something like is it 1 in 10 women in the UK have endometriosis. It's probably gone smaller than it might be 1 in 8 now.
Wow.
Um, but that's not very rare.
No,
If you think.
exactly.
So yeah, sorry, I'm just waffling on. It's
No, it's fascinating. I mean, I think it's a real reflection as well of our society at the moment. There's just not enough research, funding, all sorts of things into women's health and, being fobbed off. I
yeah,
know for me, I mean, I don't think I have endometriosis myself, but I've had other female health issues. And I
yes.
know for myself, it took years to get diagnosed and to be taken seriously for different things. And similar to you, it just took one doctor to actually take me seriously to finally get, seen to and get something sorted. But it's
Mm.
so frustrating because you must feel like you're going around in circles sometimes with it.
Yeah, and makes you angry as well. So I
Yeah,
think that's why my art um is is very much about my experiences with endometriosis or even just women's health in general. Because in this day and age, you'd think that hysteria would be knocked on the chin a bit. And I'm no expert in the disease. Like, I haven't studied in depthly about it. It's only what I've learned from my own experiences and listening to others.
yeah,
Um, and there's so many different kind of stories or information about the disease which kind of like contradicts one another, but it shouldn't be at that stage. It should be at a stage where there's clarity in saying, okay, this is the cause, this is what it is. How can we help? How can we get something out there to whether it's just minimal in just benefiting someone who's in deep pain and that whether that's I don't know, like a support group. I know
yeah,
I know that some charities have support groups out there, but I live in Worcester and it's quite minimum in the sense that we have an endometriosis clinic with an amazing lead nurse, and she puts all of her energy into trying to help the women in the area. And she's only one person now. There's nowhere else to help her delivering in support groups. Like, she does it once every 3 months.
right.
And that's amazing that we have that at all. But it's not regular. We need more from the government. We need more from the NHS. And but then again, we're all stretched. Well, the NHS is stretched,
Yeah.
and it's just finding a mechanism where everything's just balanced, and it's just having a bit more faith in the system.
Yeah. Well, this is what I like about with your art, that you are spreading awareness about it. I think, one of the starting point is making people aware of it, and
Hmm.
that's what I really like about your art and how you're trying to kind of engage the community. So I've seen on your Instagram that you've taken part in some exhibitions. Am I right in seeing that? Or you had an
So,
exhibition there?
so the exhibition took place on International Women's Day, and um, and that was in the 8th of March, and March is also Endometriosis Awareness Month.
Right,
And basically, I um, conducted and delivered 4 workshop sessions with women with endometriosis in my local area. This was all part of my master's research, um, to basically question how can the visual arts be used as a tool to visually reflect lived experiences of endometriosis, whilst also providing, well, fostering a sense of community where the participants can come openly and express themselves through conversation if they wish to feel safe and have conversation which they might not have ever had, which turned out a lot of them had never talked about their symptoms so openly before.
Right.
And then the exhibition shows my work alongside the work which the participants have done through their weavings. Um,
Amazing.
and the the output of the weavings made by participants was astonishing in the sense that they brought more of themselves into the sessions than I could have ever asked for. So what I mean is the fact that they've brought in medication packaging, which they have for their symptoms. Also, their name bands from hospitals when they've been in for a laparoscopy or anything like that.
Yeah.
And um,
So they've incorporated that into their weaving.
yeah, yeah,
Amazing.
and then someone else also incorporated a muslin because they have a boy, a little boy, and that's the the most positive thing she's got out of having endometriosis
Yeah.
is having, having a son. And someone else also made a pom pom ball the size of 5 centimeters, which represents the actual, I think it's 5 centimeters, but it represents the actual size of the cyst which has been inside her
Wow.
because of the endometriosis. So they really allow themselves to be vulnerable in
Yeah.
expressing their experiences and how each other had compassion and empathy because we all understood to a point what the other one was feeling.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was very powerful, very powerful.
It must be so nice to kind of see that. It must have been very rewarding and to have kind of like a sense of community there to be able to kind
Yeah,
of talk to each other about it.
yeah, most definitely. And the fact that it wasn't all about talking about endometriosis. Like there were some moments where talking about just pop culture and having a giggle and just general girly chat, I suppose.
It's so important to just to talk about normal
Yeah,
things to, get your mind off of it, I
yeah.
guess.
Well, yeah, most definitely. Like you keep talking about like the doom and gloom of it all, then it just keeps making you feel a bit worse.
Yeah.
Whereas there was points in the workshop where we had those um sensitive and serious conversations of how a certain how to deal with certain pain or side effects, and there'd be questions to each other, like asking each other for advice or just being able to talk about your bad day of having a really bad flare up and just getting it off your chest because
Yeah.
then they feel heard and understood. And a lot of them said that a lot of my participants said that they weren't able to have these kind of conversations with friends and family because they felt like, although, okay, they might be listening, but listening to the point where they're just agreeing, like they're not
Yeah.
truly understanding kind of like what the participants going through. And yeah, it was very empowering. And I still continue. I've started doing like workshops again.
Oh,
Which is
amazing.
which is very it's slow. It's a slow burner, but it's it takes a lot for someone to come out and open themselves to, you know, new experiences or to strangers, which is specifically for, like, say, endometriosis.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can be very isolating and it's not, you don't feel like it's normal to be open about what you're going through, I suppose. You know, it's
Yeah.
very taboo. Um,
So for kind of anyone struggling either
yeah.
physically or mentally, would you recommend, doing art as a form of therapy, or if there is like some local communities that are doing things like this, would you recommend people to kind of look into it?
Yeah, most definitely. I think even if you go into a session and you don't make anything or you don't say anything, just being in the room and listening to the stories of other women, um, there's a sense of relief
Yeah.
because you're not alone and there's no pressure. Like all these creative sessions, it's not about what you make or you're not being graded on how good it is. It's more, it belongs to you. It's for you only.
Yeah.
And you can take it with you or you can throw it in a bin at the end of the session. But at the end of the day, it's about using creativity as a distraction. And it's also very good for like so knitting and crocheting is very good for your blood pressure and also like the senses. So dealing handling very soft wool is very soothing. So like imagine like, you know, when you cuddle up in a blanket, you want to be like nurtured and
Yeah.
comforted. It's very much like that. And because it's repetitive as well, you don't have to think too much about it. And when you go into like a workshop, usually, as you know, the activities delivered are for that amount of time, and it's not supposed to be strenuous. It's about you enjoying that time making and actually like surprising yourself. Like you might go in thinking, "Oh, I can't do that. It's going to look rubbish," but actually you can.
Yeah.
But in your own unique way, it's yours. Um,
Exactly.
it's for you to enjoy.
And this is what I say to people with workshops. Like so many people, I mean, are so nervous or think they're not going to be able to do anything, but then surprise themselves by the end of it. They've learnt a new skill, or even if they haven't enjoyed learning it, they've had a nice chat or whatever it may be. It's just, being there and present and you know, getting your mind off of things. I know that's what I do for my
Mm,
weaving and my macrame to just keep track of like making knots. I can't then think about my anxiety.
yeah,
So it's a
yeah,
good way to just keep your mind off of things and have a good chat with other people as well.
yeah, and it also encourages conversation. Like you might see someone doing something which you never thought of doing, and be like, "Oh, how did you go about that?" And then it encourages that flow of conversation, and then that kind of like you get that warmth feeling, even if you don't talk to someone. But it's just the whole making is so important, and it needs to be recognised more. I know that the government are trying to push creative health further into communities, um, but I think it's at its starting stage. So there's
Yeah,
still quite a lot of development to be made. Um, but even if like you make up your own little group, it doesn't have to be about an illness or about mental health. So even if it's just, to get a group of friends together, go into the library or cafe, just getting out a ball of wool, or whether it's just observational drawing, so like just sketching what you see around you. Um, it gets you out the door, and at the end of it, you feel like you've made most of the day
yeah.
because you've done something.
Well, this is a thing because I feel like in the you know last however long last few years that there hasn't been many kind of arts and crafts clubs. They keep on disappearing. Like I know for me locally,
Yeah.
it's all disappearing, which is such a shame. And I think, like what you've just said, even if you can just get a group of friends down to, a coffee shop or anything like that, like you say, it's it's amazing how it takes you out. Sometimes I know for myself, I kind of just have a kind of little spiral. I'll just be in my house and then I'll just be spiraling and thinking about
Mm,
my anxiety. And then, it just takes me getting out of the house and maybe talking to someone. It changes the day completely. And you feel, like you said, that you've achieved something. And I think it's so important for people to get out there and, try and build up a community, even if you don't want to do it. Because I know some people, like myself, I get very nervous in person. So even if it's
yeah.
just like an online thing as well,
Yeah, exactly.
I
Exactly.
think that could definitely help. So with your workshops, is it for specifically for endometriosis, or is it kind of for anyone? Is it online? Is it in person?
So the workshops are in person, and at the moment they are specific for endometriosis. Um, just because I'm starting out,
Yeah,
I'm I'm very impulsive and ambitious, and I'm trying to like rein it in the sense because I'd like to push it so I can work with adolescents, like girls coming into puberty who are experiencing really bad periods, even like when like young adolescents can get endometriosis as well at a
yeah.
very young age, and I don't think there's a lot out there for them from what I can see. But I'd like to open up to more women's health, but it's just trying to build that platform, like getting, because it all comes down to cost as well. So I
Yeah.
try to keep my workshops quite cheap because I know, like, with the cost of living, um,
It's hard at the
it,
moment, isn't it?
it is. But then also as a facilitator, you can't afford to keep buying out the materials out your own pocket because you have no money at all
Yeah.
for the necessities. Um, so it's difficult and in sense, and it's such a competition to get funding. Um, so it's a bit of a slow burner.
I
I'm
think it's
hoping.
amazing that you're doing it. I think it's incredible that you're doing that and like trying to get a community in a kind of a place of refuge as well. I think
Yeah.
it's really amazing. So keep going with it.
Thank
I'm
you.
really like, I think that's incredible. And especially, what you're wanting to do to reach out to younger women as well. I think that would be so beneficial. So how would people find your workshops?
So it's all advertised on Instagram, which I have a Eventbrite page as well, but it's private. So you'd have to private message me for the link because I'm desperate to try and keep it as secure as possible in the sense that it's only women with endometriosis at the moment who attend the workshops. So it's got that confidentiality and there's that secureness and safety net where you can still feel open to um how you're feeling or how much you want to be open about your symptoms, etc. Um, and I have a website, but it's not finished. It takes forever. But yeah, it's kind of like word of mouth at the moment. I hate marketing. It's one of the worst things ever.
But now, now's the time. Feel free, So you're on Instagram
Um,
under
yeah, it's
Lauran.createflow. Is that correct
yeah,
then?
yeah. Lauren spelled Lauran. So Lauran, as some people say. My mum would hate that. But yeah, so it's Lauren dot createflow on Instagram. Um, it's all right. I don't like talking about marketing myself. I hate it.
I think it's
I
a great
really,
like opportunity for people, if they're in
yeah,
the local
yeah. I
area and stuff, and even just
no,
to see your work. Like I'm just having a look on
yeah.
here again now, and I just find your work absolutely fascinating. So I
Oh,
would
thank you.
highly recommend people to go and have a look at her Instagram because it's just absolutely stunning and fascinating.
Thank
Like,
you.
I really think it's important for people to have a look. I think this is such a important topic to talk about. So would highly recommend. I'm going to
Yeah.
market it off of, I will be your marketing person
Thank
here.
you.
People, please go and have a look.
Yeah, it's this way. The thing is, it's a hot, how can I put it? So I want to make more awareness, and I want to promote how art has kind of been like I don't know, like a prescription to myself, in making me feel better, and I want to help others feel better, but I don't want to exploit endometriosis,
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to make money from the disease, uh, but I do want to help people,
yeah,
and I do want to kind of like, if I think to myself, if I can make someone's life just that little bit better, just that one day, then I know that I've achieved something in my own life, in a sense, and I
I
get a
think
good
that's
feeling at the
lovely.
end of the day too.
I
So
think
it's,
that's
yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
amazing. It's so difficult trying to, balance, especially at the moment, trying to make a living and, you've got to cover your own costs, but at the same time, the main objective is to help people and to be that kind of
Yeah,
that group, that community for people to feel safe and to come to. So I think, and for
yeah,
you saying that, you're doing it for the right intentions, and I absolutely love that because you can see it's completely genuine, and you want to create
yeah,
that space and to spread awareness and things. And I think that driving force is really amazing.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's personal, and I think when you got so much passion for something as well, it can do a lot of good work.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you please keep doing what you're doing because I think it's just been incredible to hear your story, and I hope it helps other people, even if people just listen to this podcast and it can help, like you say, just one person. I think that,
Yeah,
it just makes all the difference, and I've even learnt so much today as well, like from it. I
from
mean,
all my waffling.
no, honestly, it's been really, really interesting because I know a little bit about endometriosis, but a lot of things you said,
Yeah,
I haven't heard about, I haven't even, thought of. So I, I,
yeah.
I know this will be, not only fascinating, but hopefully will help someone. And
Yeah,
so with your workshop, is there anything else that you do? Have you got any other exhibitions or anything you're planning coming up or anything like that?
I will be doing more workshops, which will work up to March, Endometriosis Awareness Month again. And I am hoping to exhibit work again from the work made from the workshops, as well as my own, again, building awareness of endometriosis. And hopefully build, maybe do more events, or I don't know, more sessions or something like that, alongside Joanna Street, who's the endometriosis lead nurse at Worcester Royal Hospital. We've got a really good rapport at the moment. Like, she's been so supportive in my work, and she's kind of been like my champion at the moment because she's so passionate about helping others with endometriosis,
Yeah.
and she puts all of herself into it. And honestly, like, she's golden and can't ask for anything more than that, especially from a professional healthcare provider. Um, so yeah, I'm hoping we'll be able to do bigger things depending on funding and all that kind of like admin side of things. Making bigger pieces. Um, yeah, who knows what will happen?
I'm
It's hard.
excited to see where it's going to go. Like, honestly, I think this is. incredible what you're doing. Please keep in touch with me with everything. If you have,
Yes,
if
yes,
you do any more like
definitely.
exhibitions or anything like that, please do let me know, because I would love to
Yeah,
hear about it. I think
yeah.
your work is going to be just amazing. What you're doing for the local community, I think, is going to be really, really great.
Well, it like the way I see for the exhibitions as well, it's a chance for participants to feel proud of themselves as well, like what they've achieved, what
Yeah,
they've made, and a way for them to kind of bring their friends and family to look what they've done, and maybe it'll help them to understand a bit more about their um their partner or their relative friends, kind of like lived experiences, and kind of like, oh wow, I didn't realize that's what it what it feels like, or what it
yeah.
could look like. And again, it kind of sparks that conversation. So yeah, it's powerful stuff. It can be really powerful stuff.
Well, this is the thing. It's like you're just saying. It's not just for the people who have endometriosis, the people around them. Like, you know, educating people, spreading
Yeah.
awareness and stuff like that, so that they've then got potentially a better support system. And I'm hoping the more people that know about it, we can start pushing more
Yes.
onto, the government, NHS, whatever it may be, to get more funding or more resources to have, art therapy, whatever it is that can help people.
Hmm.
That would be really good. So conversations like this, I think, are super, super important.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think I think we definitely need um more voices, more impact, I suppose, in a sense. Like it's like saying for yourself, doing these podcasts and the workshops you already do. Um, it's so, so important. Um, and I just hope that people do listen. There
This
needs
is
to be change.
definitely, and this is the thing, like, if you to the listeners out there, if you know someone with endometriosis, think about how you can educate yourself a bit more, or if you
Hmm.
don't know with anyone, do a little bit of research and stuff like that, because I think the more people that can get educated on it is really, really going to help. And with the work you're doing, I think it's incredible. I've been honestly so excited for
Thank
this
you.
conversation. I really, honestly, I think it's so, so important. So I just want to say
Well,
again, thank you so much for coming onto this podcast.
no, thank you. Sorry, I'm not completely all there. I'm my brain fog is pretty heavy today. So
You have
um
done amazing. I have been educated throughout this, and also I find it just lovely about what you're trying to do, and I find it fascinating how your journey through it, how you kind of went for that digital to then the
mm,
fiber art, and then how it's expressing your kind of your
yeah.
feelings and your pain. So it has been a really fascinating conversation. So
No,
I
thank
know
you for having
I
me.
no, honestly, it's been amazing. I know that both listeners and myself appreciate your openness with the topic and spreading the awareness, so thank you so much for that.
No, thank
um
you for having me.
Amazing. Well, I will make sure I'll also pop on a link to your social media as well, for people to go and have a look at your work and the workshops as well. So I think that would be great. Even
Thank
if people
you.
can just have a look at your Instagram, I think it's well worth seeing. So I will pop that on there as well.
Yeah, like if anyone is interested in having a conversation, or ask questions about my work, or what kind of work you can do in terms of um creative health, like what kind of like making, etc. Like basically I'm open to any form of conversation. Yeah, it's
Amazing.
just get in touch if you like.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, well, thank you so much for that, Lauren. So I will end this episode here. It's been amazing.
No, thank you.
I just want to say thank you again to Lauren for her openness and such a fantastic episode. I will also include links to her work in the description. If anything we talked about today brought something up for you, please know you're not alone. I've linked support resources in the show notes if you'd like to reach out for help. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.